Hi everyone, welcome to part 3. Okay, Fishy has just played bishop e2, and Shirov continued with queen f6 check. Okay, king e3, queen g5 check, queen f4, queen g1 check, king d2, and thanks to the bishop e2 move, the king can now escape comfortably, and white retains his winning advantage. Shirov tried queen a1, which is aiming for counterplay with queen takes a5, which Vishy allowed after rook takes d6. So queen takes a5 check, now king d1, and g5, which is a bad move from Shirov, who must have now been losing spirit due to his position. It's clearly inferior. Better was bishop f5, where one line goes queen takes h6, now knight f7, forking the queen and rook. So rook takes g6 check, bishop takes g6, queen takes g6 check, king f8, and white is still easily better, but black can put up a lot of resistance. So g5. Now came queen d4 with all kinds of tactical threats. Vishy is a renowned tactical genius, easily one of the best in the world, and so Shirov for that matter, but it's Anand who has the better position here, and thus the better tactical chances. King f7 is what Shirov played. So now came rook d5, which is a move that Vishy said he chose because it was a simple path to victory. There's no need to complicate, of course, once you're winning. On the contrary, it's a better strategy for a losing position. But stronger here was bishop h5 check, where after, for example, king e7, rook b6, threatening, amongst other things, queen d6 check, and white is completely winning. So rook d5, anyway, allowing bishop takes d5, because now comes queen takes e5, and here Shirov resigned, as he's going into the end game a piece down. He can't move his bishop, of course, or his queen hangs, so the bishop is lost, and the white queen is also covering any queen a1 check ideas, so there isn't even any counterplay, and Shirov had understandably had enough and threw in the towel. Well, we've got a bit of time left anyway, we may as well have a replay. It's nice to see the game from start to finish with none of those alternative variations sometimes. So yeah, it was this a new well, it's becoming more usual, I suppose, variation of the Rue Lopez with bishop c5. As I was saying, bishop e7 is, has been the move of choice for close to 100 years, I think. So it's pretty amazing stuff. I mean, bishop c5 isn't unheard of, and the Rue Lopez is notorious for having a mountain of theory if you want to learn how to play it with the white pieces. And but at the top level, bishop e7 had been basically the main line for a very long time. So it's interesting to see this alternative being played at the top level. Although of course bishop e7 is being played in a lot of the games as well. And yeah, as I said, it's an opening that you need to learn a lot of theory if you want to learn it well. There's all kinds of variations. I think this one's might be called the Archangel or Archangelisk variation, something along those lines. But there's all kinds of other ones. If you look on chessgames.com, it will show you all of the different openings that you can get from the Rue Lopez, all the different variations. A lot of them are on Wikipedia as well, but there's loads of gambits and different ways to play it that lead to very sharp play. The Schliemann is a very sharp one with an early f5 from black that Tony from my local chess club in Cavan showed me. It's a great one to know. If you play symmetrically with the black pieces, leads to very sharp play. Black can sacrifice a couple of pawns and get a killer attack. And also, of course, in the main line there's the Marshall Gambit that Frank Marshall invented and saved for 10 years. He spent 10 years working on a gambit before he used it on Capablanca, if the stories are true, and Capablanca managed to refute it over the board. It's a pretty incredible feat. But then he was, by all accounts, one of the best ever. But it's an opening that I use a lot. The Rue Lopez is how I very often meet symmetrical play. And it's also known as the Spanish torture, which I think I've mentioned before, because it takes black so long to equalize with accurate play from white, and that's one of the main reasons for playing it. You know, it's King's Crush is doing some great videos at the moment on the teachings of Steinitz, and one of his many great teachings is that you shouldn't attack until you have an advantage, and therefore, you know, it could be argued that one of the aims of the opening is to secure an advantage. But another way of looking at that is not allowing black to equalize if you have the white pieces, and maintaining the advantage of being white is one way to do that, and the Rue Lopez is certainly an opening that does that. So anyway, that's the game, that's the final position, and it was a brilliant game from Anand after Shirov had one or two inaccuracies and he missed a winning continuation. But there you have it, time control is part of the modern game. And so there's now 3 rounds remaining, and Kramnik is in the lead with 7 out of 10. Shirov and Carlsen are close on his heels at 6.5. And this afternoon it's Kramnik against Shirov, which could surely be a decisive game and should certainly be a tense and interesting battle in any case. Carlsen's taking on the super solid Leko, and so we'll see how they go, and there'll be another game up on YouTube tomorrow. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Please leave any comments or thoughts. Thanks very much.